Bart Cummings has been doing this since 1953. In fact, he started learning in his father's Adelaide stables as a small boy. Today he has the might and sophistication of one of Australia's great racing stables at his fingertips and a dazzling array of horseflesh bred in the purple. He's built, nearly lost and rebuilt his enterprise over 56 years.
He's feeling good.
Jake Stevens has been doing this officially for 3 years. He has a small team of horses at Victor Harbour, south of Adelaide, where after only 1 year and 10 races, of which he won 7, ALCOPOP is the star.
That's the thing with him, he's like power to weight ratio. He's not overly heavy, but he's so strong.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, showing ribbon, he's quite thin and everything, but he's just the strength, like you see in the legs and everything.
Yeah, no worries. Yep.
Bart's preparing his 3 Cup horses, Viewed, Roman Emperor and LA Wonder, at his Flemington stables. Jake and ALCOPOP have done most of their prep work on a South Australian beach, and man and horse drove together through the day yesterday, not to Flemington, but to a small set of stables attached to Ballarat Racetrack, 90 minutes north. They've been preparing for this since June.
I wanted to get a lot of miles into his legs early because we were going to have him up and pretty well firing for every race. I mean, even from the first start back over 1200 at Morpheville, we had to win that to get his rating up to get into the Balaclava Cup, and then it's been the same way for every race. We've only just scraped in and he's won every one, which he's pretty well had to get where he is today.
ALCOPOP wide out, hit the lead though.
The Balaclava Cup north of Adelaide in early September is not exactly a classic preparation for the Melbourne Cup. And he did only win by a short half head, but ALCOPOP was on the way.
ALCOPOP 1.5 head.
2 wins later, ALCOPOP's 4th in a row, he was ready to send an emphatic message: take me seriously. It was the Herbert Power Handicap at Caulfield on October 10.
ALCOPOP careers away.
So how would you describe his win in the Herbert Power?
At one stage he looked like he'd just clocked off, and then Dom shook him up again. And yeah, he seems to me, he's one of those horses that puts himself into the race and makes his own luck, and when the tempo picks up, he seems to grab hold of the bit, but otherwise he'll just stay there and clock off.
They're off the racing.
A week later, Viewed was clocking on in the Caulfield Cup for Bart Cummings, and so was Roman Emperor.
Viewed is clear, and Viewed will win the Caulfield Cup by 2 lengths to Roman Emperor.
How do you judge his Caulfield Cup win?
Well, he was lucky. He got on the fence, and he never left the fence. They all opened up. He charged through and won. He rode for luck, and he got a dream run.
And how's Roman Emperor coming along?
Foolproof, no problem, going very well.
How do you evaluate him alongside Viewed as a stayer?
Viewed can go wet or dry, but Roman Emperor prefers the Monjus do like the sting out of the ground.
And so how do you summarise his abilities? We know he won the AJC Derby.
I'll tell you again, if it rains, he's a good thing. If it doesn't rain, you'd have to water the tracks.
And Bart's other Cup horse, the mare LA Wonder, had also begun to stake her claims with a win in the 1600-metre Toorak Handicap, ridden by Michelle Payne. On the same day, ALCOPOP had his Herbert Power win.
Bart's done it. LA Wonder wins from.
But a week later, she finished 8th behind Viewed in the Caulfield Cup. LA Wonder had a good win in the Toorak. And how did you judge her run in the Caulfield Cup?
Too close to the lead, and that won't happen in the Melbourne Cup because she's quite aware of that. So Michelle's going to drop it back midfield and just take its time and come into the straight, and hopefully it'll finish it off in a better position. She's better when she's got horses in front of her.
I imagine you've been spacing your runs very carefully. You've planned all this. You're not worried at all about the gap between the Herbert Power and the Cup?
No, we've done a lot of work at home, and the horse sort of having... one of the things I've got to keep reminding myself, it's only his second preparation, so you've got to nurse him a little bit, and mentally he's so strong, and you've just got to keep him in shape physically so that he's got the goods to do it on the day. And he's
an intelligent horse. He's a smart horse.
Yeah, he's very intelligent, and that's one of the aspects that obviously makes him as good as he is, and every time he steps up he's done it better and better and better against tougher company and over more ground.
What do you see as the biggest dangers for ALCOPOP?
Obviously Viewed would be one of the biggest, and it's one of those races where there's always something that's going to pop up. I mean, having watched it over the years just from a a fun perspective and sitting on the couch and things at home, there's always horses that come into the mix that even if they don't have the form, all of a sudden they're primed and ready.
Well, ALCOPOP's an interesting horse. He's a pretty promising stayer, unusual preparation, but that doesn't stop him winning. So if he's got the will to win, and or he's proven to have, it'll be interesting to see the result, because I'm not too sure.
The overseas horses don't seem to have attracted anything like the attention that they usually do this year. Do you think that they're not...
The one that Russell owns seems to be the best of them, and I think his form's quite good. That's the one probably would be the one I'd suggest. The Russian gentlemen, they're all trying to analyse.
So what will the race mean to you if you win?
I'm not really sure. I sort of haven't wanted to think about it at this stage to get too far ahead of myself. But obviously it'll be very exciting for myself and the owners. I think there'll be a few days off, which might be well due by now, and the staff will be very happy. They're all over, so they're really excited about it.
The story of Jake Stevens and ALCOPOP is quite remarkable, isn't it, by racing, that he's only been training for 3 years.
It is, yeah. How long has he been training for?
3 years.
Well, he's done good. He's got a good horse to start with anyway.
So he bred the horse before he actually took out his trainer's licence. And
there you go. He's a control freak.
One of these two men has been living the magic of the Melbourne Cup for 5 decades. The other is just learning what it might be like to live the dream. Either result would be a great Cup story, worthy of a great race.